Ocean Explorers Festival, which was held in August 2025 at the Natural History Museum in Colombo. Situated in the premises of the Colombo National Museum, the National Museum of Natural History exhibits species rare and threatened with extinction endemic to Sri Lanka. We now take you to the extraordinary world of blue whales and other cetaceans. The event was organized by Oceanswell, Sri Lanka's first marine conservation and research education organization, founded by marine biologist Asha de Vos in collaboration with the Embassy of France in Sri Lanka and the Maldives.
So France has been committed for a while and deeply committed to maritime sciences. At the end of the 19th century, 14 maritime stations were built by French leading research institutes. Now 5 remain, including in Brittany, in Roscoff or in Villefranche-sur-Mer. But besides this, it's also pioneers who gave warnings to the world about fisheries and ecology. I'm thinking of Anita Conti, one of the first female science researcher who spent 3 months in the Arctic before coming back. So we've been very committed to, France has been very committed to maritime science, also as a way to protect the biodiversity of the ocean and of the planet. This year, in 2025, France, with Costa Rica, welcomed the third United Nations Conference on the Oceans. And so these commitments remain. And that's why we're very happy today to support Asha de Vos and Oceanswell event. Asha de Vos is a leading researcher from Sri Lanka and a pioneer in giving knowledge to, especially to the youth. We're very happy that so many kids are here to get interested in maritime sciences and being aware of ecology and what is at stake.
The Oceanswell team shared insights on cetacean behaviors, fisheries research, and ongoing conservation efforts.
Hi, I'm Tarushan Ethipula, a research assistant at Oceanswell. I map whales and dolphins that are found in the southern seas of Sri Lanka around Miris area. And these maps help us to identify where different species are and their movement pattern throughout the years and which areas are important for their lives. These maps are crucial to identify threats nearby these whales and for the conservation effort that are done by organizations such as Oceanswell.
I am Imani Herat, research assistant at Oceanswell. I am working on photo ID database. It's called, we have high quality photographs. Using those, we identify unique animals using their scars, patches, skin colorations, and likewise this is a game, photo identification challenge. Using these photographs, we carefully look about their cut marks and their scars. So we have to find same individual by looking at their unique skin colors, marks and patches, cuts. So this game's for the kids. Wow, it's just perfect.
So welcome to the ghost gear pollution stall. So ghost gear is abandoned, lost or discarded fishing gear that freely floats in the ocean. So as they pass us by, they wrap themselves around living species and kill them. So that's we call ghost fishing. And it's a huge problem that anyone hardly talks about. So that's why we are here today talking about it, spreading the message. And you can do the same. So this helps you to realize how hard it is for fish to live in the ocean with ghost gear aside them. See? So that's why we must create awareness.
The highlight of the event was engaging in talks with Dr. Asha de Vos about the blue whale skeleton that is hanging in the middle of the Natural History Museum.
So when I was about 6 years old, there were puppetry classes in the National Museum here in Colombo. So actually the sister museum of where we are right now. And they used to have these classes on a Sunday, and my parents signed us up and sent us off, and we would run through the corridors and then we'd come to the mammalian gallery, and up above on the ceiling was this incredible blue whale skeleton. And I don't remember anything about the puppetry classes, but I would lie under the skeleton and look at this and think, what is this creature? How has it grown so big? What does it feed? Where does it live? What does it look like with its clothes on? And I think subconsciously this skeleton has had a role to play in who I have become today. So blue whales are really important in our oceans. The presence of them makes sure that the ocean is functioning correctly. There's two ways in which they contribute. Okay, the first one is they feed in the depths of the ocean in places where there are things like iron and nitrogen that you don't really find in the surface of the ocean. When they come back up to breathe, they also poop. And that poop now has all these nutrients that fertilizes the tiny microscopic plants called phytoplankton on the surface of the ocean. And then the phytoplankton can use those nutrients, use sunlight, and they photosynthesize and they turn carbon into oxygen, which is obviously a great service. And then beyond that, they also allow more phytoplankton to be in our ocean, which is the base of every food web. So it's really important that we have more phytoplankton because it means there's more of everything else. But also when the whale dies, its carcass is food for so many species from the surface of the ocean all the way to the deepest depths of our ocean. And on the way, it's also trapping carbon in its body that it has trapped through its life. And it takes that carbon down with it to the depths, to what we call the greatest carbon sink on the planet. So it's helping to buffer us from the worst effects of climate change. We've got to be really thankful to these guys. They do such a service and we don't even have to ask them for it. So, you know, we are very blessed in Sri Lanka. We have 8 times more ocean area than land area, which I think a lot of people don't realize. It's quite remarkable. We have this incredible biodiversity out there. It's an amazing space. It's very productive. A lot of people survive because of the fisheries, either through livelihoods or because it's a primary source of protein. So it is a space that needs to be protected. One of the key things we do need in Sri Lanka, I would say, is more education in schools. We need more people to see spaces like this and to be in awe of these creatures and to believe that they can be part of the solution and not just part of the problem. So I would say one of the key things for me is making sure we're educating kids from a very young age, getting them excited about the ocean, making them ambassadors, ocean heroes, so they are proud to say this ocean is ours. And that is what I think is our most important ingredient where we stand today.
It's super interesting to learn about the biggest and the smallest living species in the sea and the importance of helping the ocean and taking care of it for our future generations, as well as all the conservation work that's being done in terms of mapping the animals and you know, taking care of the ghost nets that are floating around and so on. I warmly recommend it to anyone who's here. Come and listen and go and visit the team taking care of the oceans for us.
I think we've come to the museum so many times, but this review gave me a new perspective of what we could do to look after our oceans and leave something for the kids of the future.
I loved the exhibition. I learned a lot of the ways and I know how to protect the ocean.
Thank you for watching. We end with a strong message from the United Nations World Oceans Day 2025. A bientôt!
Our world is full of wonders. Some we create, and others we destroy. But why do we value what humanity can make over what nature gives freely? Have we strayed so far from our sense of wonder that we could knowingly devastate the greatest wonders of all? Immensely vast, the ocean seems endless, both in its depth and its generosity. woven through the food we eat and air we breathe, the common thread of what sustains us is always the sea. But blinded by our selfishness, we have pushed past its limits and exploited the ocean out of greed. Now, faced with its decline, we have a choice. Reignite awe for all we've taken for granted, or forever wonder what our ignorance has cost. This World Oceans Day, join us as we spark new appreciation for the ocean and call on decision makers to honor the ocean's wonder when determining its fate. Because the ocean is our world's greatest wonder. It's time we treat it that way.